Greetings, this is Lodril and welcome to the review for Forged of Blood. Forged of Blood was developed and published by Critical Forge, who sent me a key for this review. But first things first. Forged of Blood starts with a desperate attempt from King Aurelian Kynican to buy his son some time to escape after humanity rebels against the rule of Kynicans. After a small tutorial battle, the game drops you into the strategic map. From here, you will guide your small party to start with and your talons later on to try and reconquer the world of Atiras. The world of Atiras is a mix of the Roman Empire with Tolkien fantasy elements. You have various creatures and monsters along with the humans and the elder race that rules them. Regarding the story, it revolves mostly around you trying to reconquer the areas that rebelled and other factions that popped up. There are quite a few unique characters, but the game leans more into strategy than RPG, so you won't really get a storyline out of them. Think more XCOM than Final Fantasy Tactics. The storyline unfolds through the various questlines to conquer the different regions, and a couple of main story quests, but it works mostly as a vehicle for combat. It is serviceable, but nothing stands out too much, and it seems more like it's there to justify the capturing of the regions. Forged of Blood is a pretty deep and complex turn-based strategy game. You control 3 parties or talons at the same time. Each talon can have a maximum of 5 members. At the start of the game, you will have one of the princes and mostly humans. There are other bloodlines like yours out there though, and you should seek them out since they are much stronger than humans, especially in magic. Every character has multiple abilities and stats. They can have up to 2 different weapon sets and you can switch between them freely in battle, at the cost of some of your action points. There is a lot here to unravel, and people that love deep and complex systems will definitely feel at home. Stats are affected by skills, leveling up, abilities and items. You can try experimenting with every ability and skill, since you can reset them at will. The characters have 9 different weapon types to choose from, and each has a tree with its own special abilities. Add to that 3 different magic trees and you can spend many hours trying out different configurations. Speaking of magic, Forged of Blood offers one of the most customizable magic systems out there. There are 3 primal energies. Each of those has 2 different states, the Drain and the Expel state. Each state can have multiple slots for spells from 1 to 3 for example, and each spell can be further customized not only by 8 different effects, of which you can slot up to 5 per spell, but there are also 12 effect modifiers and 12 global modifiers per spell. These range from things like potency of the spell to length and width, duration, and just a ton of different customization options, which is really impressive. Keep in mind that for some reason friendly units, like enemies, will resist spells, even friendly ones. So be sure to spend some points in making sure your spells can get past their and their enemies' defenses. That might sound overly complicated to some people, but the game also offers some ready to be used spells from your spellbook, and goes even further to offer automatic leveling up for the abilities of which weapon too, which you might want to use, because leveling up is a rather involved and time-consuming experience. Gameplay-wise, Forged of Blood has a turn-based combat system. Combat order depends on each character initiative, which is determined by various factors like stats or even abilities you can use while in combat. There are quite a few different environments: open areas, villages and towns, even interiors. There are also quite a few enemies, from humans to various monsters and creatures. The maps are not randomly generated though, so you will see some repetition, both in maps and in actual combat scenarios or quests. One of the things I really liked was the inclusion of different speeds in combat. You can play on normal, fast or even faster, which makes long scenarios pass by faster, which is a blessing because, at least for me, the game had quite a few bugs. Most of them were the crash to desktop kind, which happened in combat and out, but for long combat scenarios it can get frustrating to have to replay it, since the game does not allow you to save during combat, if the game crashed. I also had a couple of turns that would not end, since the NPC would not trigger an end to their turn. Make sure to save often, since the game also crashes outside combat scenarios, and you can spend 10 minutes leveling up your characters and lose all the progress due to a random crash. One further thing to note about the combat is that if some of your characters die in combat, they are lost to you forever afterwards. You also do not get to pick up their things either, so whatever weapons or armor they carry, they are gone. Speaking of weapons and armor, Forged of Blood offers a ton of different ones. There is a huge amount of different armors and weapons with different stats and quality, from normal to green to purple to orange, and most of them with different stats so you can build your characters exactly how you want to. The game also offers a market where you can buy and sell weapons, but it never offers items that are of similar quality to the ones you get from drops or questlines, so it's kinda useless. You make a lot of money throughout the game, but there is nothing really to spend it on. Another rather important part of the game is the 3-axis philosophical index, which is a tracking system based on your choices that has various consequences. You have a small circle on the axis, again depending on your choices, and people out of it will leave your party and never return. The same goes for regions and factions. I personally did not have a problem with anyone due to the choices I made, but if you are overly cruel or sadistic or even too kind, you might lose some people, and you will need all the factions on your side if you want to achieve victory. At least a conclave victory. The conclave is a meeting where the future ruler of Atiras will be decided. You will need to both have regions under your control and be carrying favors with other regions to win. There is also the option to outright try to destroy a faction, which means you can either approach this with diplomacy, military might, or a mixture of both. There is a time limit though, so make your choices carefully. As far as time limits go, you will find that other things in the game, like quests or attacks on your territory, will have them. Sound-wise, both the soundtrack and the combat sounds are pretty decent. Nothing too exciting, but it blends well with the game's world. One thing to note though is that Forged of Blood does not offer any kind of subtitles, which is a weird choice for a game made in 2019. Apart from people where English is not their native language, there are also people with hearing issues, so one would think such a thing would be included by default by now. One last option I would like to mention is that the settings offer some nice customization options for gameplay balance, like player and enemies hit chance, damage modifiers, health, etc. Also things like weapons ability point gains and gold income and pretty much everything the game has to offer. All in all, Forged of Blood is a rather complex and intriguing strategy game. I finished the game at 37 hours, so there is a meaty experience to be had and a rather fun one too. Thank you for watching this review. As always, feel free to leave me a comment or suggestions on the review or other games you would like me to cover. Press the like button if you enjoyed it and feel free to subscribe to be notified when more reviews go online. Apart from YouTube, you can find me on Twitter @Vlodril or on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/Vlodril. Have a great day, and I will see you next time.